Another day, another fabulous breakfast. And I want to take a moment to acknowledge the farmers who put this breakfast on my table. Growing, nurturing, watering, plowing, and those who pick my food, my fruits and my vegetables. But I'm just thankful I'm able to eat fresh organic food, thankful that I'm healthy enough to be able to cook it. And I appreciate the growers and the planters and the pickers, whether machine or people, who pick my food so I can have this lovely breakfast on my table. So we need to remember to be grateful for just the little things. Okay, this is what I normally do in the floors. I've been doing it for years. If there's a big gap, put a piece of cord in there, because you can see the floor below, so this way it'll prevent any grout from falling into the space. Now there's very few spaces that are this wide. Sometimes I use spray foam, like in the downstairs kitchen. And rope works. Sometimes I put little pieces, big pieces. I've had this stuff sitting around here for years waiting to do this spring. See? There's all kinds of different ways. This one works. I'm gonna put this stuff on the floor. The old stuff, not the new stuff. Not the stuff I used yesterday. It turned out to be just a big horror show. This stuff stayed in my floors for years. Never had a lick of problems with it. I should have known better when I had to mix it with water. This stuff doesn't last very long because it gets hard rather quickly in the container. So I'm kind of taking it out of the container and put it in this little container. It's very flexible. This stuff is. The other stuff yesterday, I'm just freaking out. So I wanted to do this little space here and see what happens with this grout, because I had such a bad experience yesterday. I'm kind of bummed today. So aside from grocery shopping and going to Lowe's, I had to do something to make myself feel somewhat productive, have something that worked. So I want to make sure, before I make any more effort on these floors, that this stuff is going to work like it has in the past for me. And I just wanted to do this one row. I don't remember having such a mess either. My floors are like a disaster. I can't get the grout off of them, because this stuff didn't do that at all. So I'll wait till tomorrow and see what happens with this section. Because the floors are gorgeous. They're just not... They just needed some TLC, not like days and weeks and months of it. We'll see what happens. Get more grout. Finish this area here. And I'm shedding. It's really super dry in here. This might... moisture level in this house is 22%, so I have to have a humidifier in my bedroom where I sleep. So the reason I mentioned that is I'm losing hair. It's my long hair. Alright, let me go get some more. I think this one will be fine. so sad about all that work I did yesterday. It's not all the work. It's all the work I have to do to clean up all that grout in between all the wood that I did. That's redoing it isn't the problem. It's what I have to do before I redo it is the problem. Okay, this is what I remember working with this grout is, you know, you just put it in there and then you just wipe up the area and that's it, man. So we'll see. So I did this one, this big one with the rope. Same thing. You just wipe it, go over the grout. It's already starting to dry. You just wipe around. It's not this huge disaster. That's stuff that I did the other day. This is a huge disaster and it was a waste of my time because look at this. It's crumbling. It's awful. So I'm going to wait and see what happens. Plus, look at the floor. I can't get the floor clean. And this is like right next to this. See the difference? And that's what I did yesterday. Oh, it's awful. So, you know, live and learn. It wasn't the expense. It was the convenience because the stuff dries so fast if you don't use the whole container right away. You know, I mean like within a 30-day period or something. It just dries up. I should have just got it, used it, and that would have been the end of it. Now I have to, I don't know what. This came out really good. That came out really good. I don't know what's going to become of that floor. I don't know.
We can pack our bags and we just go, go, go. He said, let's go catch a flight. We about to stay up all night. Red eye goodbye, hold my hand tight. He take me straight to the sky. Baby, take me out to Tokyo. Let me catch a flight to San Diego. Paris, Madrid, or Tobago. Anywhere you wanna be, where we gonna go? Take me on a ride. Tell my girls bye-bye. Just touch down, show me around, then kiss me goodnight. We can pack our bags and we just go, go, go. I'm ready to party on the floor, floor, floor. With you, with you, with you, with you, with you, with you. Put me on the plane, I wanna get raptured. Click, click, these photos get captured. Signs in the sky, another stamp on my passport. Airplane mode, cause I get what I asked for. It's really good to see you. Hotel 5-star, cause we need to. Mountains, ocean, in the rear view. Suntan lotion, water so clear blue. Anywhere on the map, all I do is tap tap. At the hotel bar, let's call the car. We can pack our bags and we just go, go, go. I'm ready to party on the floor, floor, floor. With you, 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 with you.
Okay, well this is going to be tedious to film because the tape wouldn't stick on brick. I need to fill all of these little spots before I sand and paint. Fill all these little areas next to the chimney. And I can see this isn't going to work because I can't work holding the camera. And I cannot get, I can't, have to do this when I'm not holding the camera. It's too tedious, so I'll videotape it when I finish. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do this little area here, this little entryway at the top of my stairs. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of grout in between the threshold I just put in. Put it in between the floorboards and work my way over here. All of the mud is finished. I just have to sand it one more time. And I'm letting everything dry. And I'm also waiting for the floor to pop up, whatever grout that I put in the other day to pop up. But anyway, I did the plaster. Everything that needs to be a second coat is on. I just need to finish that, sanding or sponging tomorrow. I've got my rope and I have my new grout. I went and got the old one that I've used. As you can see through some of these cracks in the floor. It's a very old floor. It's 1800's. So hence the rope. It works wonders. So I'm going to get started. Well, I've been sanding drywall and priming and painting all day. I just didn't feel like filming it. It's just too much work to do that. So basically what I'm doing is I do much better when I'm not talking or filling, or can't talk and work at the same time. It doesn't work for me. And this is primer mixed with paint. So I do that first, and then I go ahead and paint with the paint after I do this. All the cut-ins with the primer. That doesn't look so great. But anyway, so much needs to be done. It's just too tedious because I'm bouncing all over the place. You know, doing an edge, up, down, all that stuff. It's just too hard to film. And it was really hard to mud. And what I did is I painted primer, white primer, sheetrock primer over the edges so I could have an easier time trying to get to these cut-ins here. It's still not easy, but I can do it with the paint. This is just to kind of get me started. It's an old house, it's been painted, and it's plaster, and it's old paint, and it's just really, really hard to, there's nothing straight or perfect about it. There's holes and oh geez, I don't know, just caulking and paint and places where they missed and I had to fill and all that jazz. Anyway, I'm going to do a scan around. Pretty much finished with all the cut in for now. Oh, I'm just gonna, what I do is I mix paint and primer so I don't have white behind me because the walls are kind of green anyway. So I probably put too much paint in, but the paint does have a primer. I do a better job when I'm not leaning over a camera. That's why I don't like to film when I'm doing things like this. Oh, I just don't. I'll do this last bit and then I'm just going to get back to my meditation because look, I just screwed up and I never really screw up when I do this work, and that it's only because I'm filming it. No time for this. It's a lot easier to do it without filming. Yep, I do way better job when I'm not filming or squatting, or because then I could stand where I want to stand and where I need to stand, and I'm not worried about a camera. Probably won't even use this because it's just awful because I'm just in the wrong position. There's nothing straight about this. There's like caulking right like in it, so it's not flat. And it's really hard to kind of go over bumps and things and make it look like it's straight. And sometimes I have to go back over with the, with the white paint. I really should have done all this molding, but I don't have time. My house is going on the market on Monday, and I wasn't even supposed to do anything in this room at all. I'm going to do the rest of this room with a roller. It's just plaster. This is old plaster. I think it has wallpaper over it or something. I think they painted over wallpaper. And I can't pull the sink out anymore, so I'm getting as far back. I pulled it out as much as I could, but I can't pull it back anymore. I mean, or forward, so I can get behind the whole thing. Okay, that's enough. You get the gist. Okay, well, I hand brushed and I cut in all around the chimney and around the molding and around the mirror and around the molding on the bottom, around that little cabinet over here on the edge. I went ahead and hand brushed the edges here up on the top because I'm going to use a roller to do that big area. So I got all that and down the bottom here, and I prime the other side because the other side is going to be white. So I primed that and I did a few repairs. And the inside of the doorway I decided to paint green so you can see how nice it'll look when it's done. So I'm going to go ahead and finish painting the centers, and then tomorrow I'll paint the paint, not paint and primer. Well, today's an exciting day. We're going to finish cutting in and painting these green walls after weeks of tedious, painstaking caulking and taping and repairing and sanding and priming and all that. So today we're going to finish, and we're going to cut in the color, because basically what's on the wall right now is the color, but the color mixed with primer, because it was repaired. So it was mud and sheetrock on the other wall. So basically I mix primer with my paint so I don't have a white surface, because this wall was already green. This is the wall I matched the paint from. So we're gonna finish cutting in all around the edges with the true paint color, and then minus a roller. I only have a small roller because I have all of my rollers over in Corning, and I didn't know that. Otherwise, I would have picked one up, and I'm not going shopping to go get rollers today. I'm just going to use my little roller and the brush and get it done, because it's only going to require one coat. And then I'm going to repair the floor behind where I'm going to put the shelves, so I can go ahead and set them up and get my sales stuff done. The floors that I did previous need to be redone with the new grout that I bought. That's the already mixed grout, not the one I mixed myself. That was a disaster. So I'm going to do that today, so it'll give the edges of the room a chance to dry, and then I can bring the shelves from the attic, put the furniture back, and start setting up this room for my my moving sale. So that's what we're doing today. We're getting a big chunk of finished finally. And then on Monday, this property goes on the market. So all weekend, what I'm going to do is work on the floor, and then also work on everything that's going to be put up for sale from the attic, the downstairs room, this room. I'm going to start putting things on shelves and pricing them, hanging art that's going to be sold, and that's going to make a huge difference in this property. Got to get it organized. I got 3 days. So let's get started.
Wrap me up in the winter's cold. Hang the lights in the mistletoe. Come around like the year before, while we savor the great indoors. I don't need a gift to know you got me, just to make me feel at home. Just a simple wish to make me happy, so that I can feel you close. Just one thing I'm asking for, give me love, that's all I want. Unboxed or in a bowl, give me love, that's all I want. Give me love, that's all I want. Can you feel wonder in the air? All around like a carousel. Time of year is a time for care, making new memories to share. I don't need a gift to know you got me, just to make me feel at home. Just a simple wish to make me happy, so that I can feel you close. Just one thing I'm asking for, give me love, that's all I want. Unboxed or in a bowl, give me love, that's all I want. Give me love, that's all I want. Give me love, that's all I want.
Okay, this is the last of the cutting in on the green doorway. This is why I don't do drywall, because this doorway and these corners, it's just not my thing. It is so much work. I won't do it again. I won't have drywall in my house in Portugal. I don't have drywall in my little house in Corning, New York. I put metal walls up. I mean, there was a necessity of a few I think there was one wall that was drywall in the bathroom behind the cabinet. Other than that, no, I don't like doing this. It's too much work. So much work. And then I've got white on one side and green on the other. So I need to paint right up against this lip. And although it may look green, it's a different shade because I put the primer in my paint, so it made it a lighter shade of green. So I need to really go over the very edge of this lip, because you can see, as I noticed behind the sink, that if you don't go over right to the edge, you can see where the lighter color is. And so once this is finished, then basically I will get my little roller, which I never use a little roller. Oh, great. Of course the paint dripped right where there was no drop cloth. I don't have any big rollers. My rollers are all in Corning, and I'm just too ready to get this done to worry about going to get a big roller. So I'm just going to use a little roller, and I've been brushing a lot more areas than I thought I would anyway. But this all needs to be brushed with the paintbrush. You can't do a roller on this. Okay, very cool. Woohoo! Can I do the happy dance? So all I need to do now is just paint above my head. And then the rest I can do with the ruler. Whew, this is a big project. I wasn't even supposed to do any of this work before I sold this property. I had this property on the market earlier in the year, and I took it off because I wanted to do a little bit more work over the winter, but it turned into a huge job. I hope somebody appreciates this building when they buy it. That's all I could say. But anyway, I'm ready to turn it over to the next beneficiary. Maybe they can do more work and finish up these few rooms that I didn't do. So we're just about done. I've just got this little section, and then let's get the rolling started. Yay! Woo! All done. What a big difference. I finished the grouting in this section, and behind the cabinet that needs to be pushed back so I can get all my sale stuff ready. And then I went right to the edge there, so that's all done. I'm happy. And then that wall is finished. And this wall is finished. So it's looking really good. So now I can push the furniture back, and I can get my sale stuff all situated and bring in some shelves, because I got these edges done too, so I can bring the shelves in now. Cool! Well, I'm excited to finish the rest of the floor like this one. And this section is done. So what I did was I cleared up all the stuff in this room, moved everything. I've already gotten behind that cabinet. This wall's done. Got all the sale stuff piled up here. That cabinet's got to go. All that stuff's going to be sold. So I'm going to hang the art. But what I'm going to do is do these floors. As you can see, there's lots of spaces between the boards. This is an absolutely gorgeous original 1800s floor. Look at the size of the boards. Some of them are 12 inches wide. They're just gorgeous. So I'm going to go ahead and finish putting the grout and get all these areas sealed up, clean the floor, and then set up all my sale stuff. And yeah, it's going to be a good day. Well, there's only a few more that need rope, and this is one of them. So I'm going to get this one done and see, and then move on. It's a pretty big space. So I'm going to finish this floor today, which will be really great, and then I can go and take down the stuff from the attic and bring it in here to start setting up for the sale. Hang my art on the walls and all that. So here we go. This is why I do time lapse, because, you know, it gets kind of boring. It's kind of boring. Oh, cut my glove. Well, that's not productive at all. I've done a lot of work in this room. I put thresholds in. I put a bathroom in. Put new flooring in where the plumbing was. These floors are from 1800s. They're original floors to this house. They're so wide. They're beautiful. There's no way I was going to cover these up. You know, they're original fir. Probably fell from somewhere around this area at the time. You know, that's what people look for when they go to buy historic properties, not fake vinyl floor put over top of original wood floors. No way. No way, Jose. Not doing that. I'm going to do cement floors in Portugal. Cement, steel, tin, tile. You know, natural materials. No fake vinyl stuff. Or clipped together floor like I did in that house, and that stuff was horrible. Clipped together floor in the garage conversion in Corning. It was the most wretched thing I've ever experienced. It was a terrible experience. I'd rather do this all day long than deal with that stuff. And initially I used this mixed together grout that I had never used before. Oh boy, did that make a mess. So I had to redo this whole floor, even though I only did like about, I'd say about a third of it. Thank God. I was only supposed to do a little section, but I kept going. And it wasn't anything like this premix stuff. Nothing. So I just had to do those. I have to do those areas over. It's not that big a deal. I just walked around on it, let it crack where it cracked, and just filling where it cracked, and then hope for the best. But with this stuff's amazing. It's flexible, and in the areas where the wood floor moves, it moves with it. It's never cracked on me. Pretty awesome. And it cleans up way nicer. That other stuff was like a nightmare too. I'm still trying to get the grout up off my wood. Here it just wipes right up. I never have a problem. Yep, you got to stick with what you've used. If something works, don't change it. That's my philosophy. Don't know what I was thinking. Don't know what I was thinking. All right. I'm going to go to time lapse now. You get the idea.